You know, in this series, we're talking all about jerkbaits, and we're talking about how to pick the right color and how to fish them. Now let's talk about how to pick the right type of jerkbait for the situation. You know, when you think about a jerkbait, again, you think about lots of different things, different colors, different sizes, but I keep it pretty simple, guys. In the springtime, if the water's warm and I'm in shallow water and there's a lot of vegetation, a lot of maybe places to get snagged up, you know, there's a lot of underwater cover, I'm gonna fish a floating style jerkbait like we have here. This one floats, it goes down, jerks down and floats back to the top, goes down, floats back to the top. Or I can keep it down and then let off when I need to keep it, you know, above the grass line or whatever. The floating style jerkbaits work great, again, in shallow water, especially if you have a lot of submerged vegetation, or you're trying to, you know, keep it in that shallow shoreline zone. A floating jerkbait is good. You're not going to want to throw a suspending jerkbait in that situation. If you're fishing down shorelines and you're fishing over suspended or submerged grass, don't fish a suspended jerkbait too much because it's going to get down there and get hung up. You know, when I fish a suspended jerkbait is in the wintertime when the water temperatures are cold. You know, I like to throw the River to Sea trophy minnow here. This is a nice one. It gets down about 6 or 8 feet deep underwater, and I'll pause it, I'll jerk it down there and pause it and let it sit. Again, in cold water situation or open water situations. Or, you know, let's say it's a shoreline with some deep shoreline with some rocks or docks sticking out. I'll take the suspending jerkbaits and cast it down the edge of a dock, work it down beside the shady side of that dock and stop it. And that with that suspended jerkbait, it's just sitting there in the water column. It's just sitting there totally still. Then it goes down and get a little bit more and sits totally still. So a suspending jerkbait is great for those applications. Picking the right size, pretty simple. Match the hatch. You hear me talk about it all the time. It's very important. Pay attention to what type of bait fish are in the area and how big they are. Most of the time I'm throwing, you know, that trophy minnow size, or I'm fishing maybe a little bit bigger one. And occasionally, especially if I'm around a lot of smallmouth bass, I'll downsize it to a small little, you know, 78 size. So, you know, make some good choices out there. Pick the right type of jerkbait for the right conditions. See you guys.